Okay guys, here's a quick video of tank progress so far. Right now I have the tank standing on end. It's kind of hard to get a full tank shot as close as I am with the camera. But you can see right there in the background is the overflow and all the steel bracing and everything like that goes around the tank, and that runs vertical down the corners, and the same square bracing along the bottom of the tank. But that'll be all concealed with wood trim. And you can see the white initial coat of epoxy, and we're looking in at the bottom of the tank right now, and you can see right there still the white part, or yellow color. That's actually the back where the background will be being placed. In this end we're looking at right here where the two little Tupperware containers are. That'll be the end where the external wave box will actually sit outside the tank. And you can see I don't use any really special or fancy tools, just cheap Dollar General Tupperware containers that I mix my epoxy in with cheap old plastic spoons, cheap old squeegees that I get from Harbor Freight, and I cut them in half if I need to. And you can see right here on the Euro bracing, I even poured epoxy on the edge all the way around. I still have to do a little bit up there in the corner right there, and I did the top there, and I still have this back section along the Euro bracing to do. And you can see I get a little sloppy with epoxy, and that's why I do have the blue tarp on the ground. And you can see I use clear packing tape. The clear packing tape doesn't stick to the epoxy, so it's real nice to form dams and everything like that. And it gives you a pretty clean line. And even if your lines of epoxy are a little jagged, once it hardens up, you pull the tape off, hit it with the sander to square things up, and she's nice and clean lines just like that. And this is actually the front viewing panel we're looking at. Again, the tank is standing on end. And you can see the wood trim, and that's actually the outside that the glass is going to sit flush against on the inside there. And again, I still have this panel, and this is the top of the tank. And this is about all I have is this pane right here and the bottom side of the Euro bracing. I actually want to get a good coat of epoxy, just like the rest of the tank is going to receive, because there was a tank failure, and it all stemmed from the Euro bracing not being thoroughly coated, and the water actually started seeping into the bracing and actually cracked the bracing. It was caught before anything catastrophic happened, but it just shows it just takes a pinhole to get in and demise a tank like this. So the extra time and caution with all the epoxy work is really important to me. And again, you can see right here the slots cut into the back of the tank for the water to flow into the overflow. And all this is fiberglassed out with biaxial 37-ounce fiberglass cloth. And this will give everybody a good idea as far as what the buildup is right now as far as the thickness of the epoxy. And that gives you a pretty good idea. I measured it out. It's just shy of a 1/4 inch right now. And before I pour the next coat, I'm going to knock it down and rough it up with 60 grit sandpaper. That way the next epoxy coat, adheres to it pretty good. And again, that's all the way around the tank. You can see and again, just a quick overview of the progress so far. And I want to give everybody a quick shot of the overflow, and it is 4 foot long by 12 foot wide by 12 foot high. And you can see how I notched the steel bracing here in the overflow to actually support the Euro bracing, and it runs the entire length and width of the tank. So structurally, it's not going anywhere.